In Charlotte, North Carolina. It is Sunday, October 11th, 2020. We're streaming live as we're continuing to monitor scattered severe weather throughout the Carolinas today. We have a tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service office out of Wilmington. This goes for north central Horry County until 4 o'clock. This is moving to the northeast at about 10 miles an hour. It's in the Green Sea area there of Horry County. What's on your screen right now will show you on the left reflectivity, radar, rain intensity, on the right-hand side, winds. And that's where it's most easiest to detect this potential tornado. And it's right on in here where the red and the green come together. This is moving here, again, 10 miles an hour to the north and to the east. And so if you're in north central Horry County, or if you know somebody who is, it's time for these folks to head to their safe place. That's the lowest level of a sturdy structure, as interior to that structure as possible, with as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. You don't want to be up against, if you can avoid it, any exterior walls, doors, or windows. We have a new radar scan in here from the radar in Wilmington, which is pretty close by. We're about 35 miles away, which means that we are lucky to be scanning the atmosphere right now at just about 2,000 feet off the surface, which makes trying to locate tornadoes, potential tornadoes, real easy and convenient, and we certainly appreciate when we can be close to one of those radar sites. We can't always have that convenience. This is the third tornado warning this hour, and the only active tornado warning right now is in Horry County, South Carolina, until 4 o'clock. We had one for Dillon County, South Carolina. That it was allowed to expire in the last few minutes. You could see areas of broad rotation there in the green and in the red. And earlier this hour, we had one for Richmond and Anson counties up in North Carolina, between Charlotte and Fayetteville. That has also been allowed to expire. We are watching inside this line of strong thunderstorms a few areas of circulation still, right? So I mentioned we have the weaker one still moving through Dillon. I'm looking at something here a little bit here in real time with you near Fairmount, just across the North Carolina line. Again, broad circulation, not seeing anything right now. The only tornado warning we do have is in Horry County. And you can see there where the green and the red come together in close proximity to each other, and pretty strong, bright readings as well, too. And so that's why the National Weather Service right now has that tornado warning out. If we zoom on out, you can see that we are watching rains from the I-85 corridor between Greensboro and Raleigh all the way down to the coast. This has been marching to the east throughout the day. We had it here earlier this morning in Charlotte, on top of the rain we had yesterday, very saturated ground still. If I switch to the radar right now in upstate South Carolina, you can see that we do still have a bit of a clearing and a gap right now in the Charlotte area, in the Midlands of South Carolina through Columbia. And with that, we're watching in the upstate South Carolina area still a few lingering, stronger showers, potential tornadoes, potential thunderstorms, a little bit more scattered, a little more isolated in the upstate South Carolina coming out of Georgia area, and these are moving to the east as well, too. So we'll keep an eye on those throughout the day to see if any one of them does anything to certainly garner our attention. Race fans will be keeping a close eye on that. But again, clear right now, Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord. And the only warning we have of any type right now is this tornado warning in central Horry County that goes for another 12 minutes or so. With that area of circulation. Not a confirmed tornado on the ground by any means, but a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, and one that we should treat as a tornado until we're told otherwise, near Green Sea, or about 12 miles southeast of Mullins, moving northeast at 10 miles an hour. And again, this will be near Green Sea in the next 5 minutes or so at about 3:55 or so. I'm just going to look behind me here. I have National Weather Service chat up to see if there's any new information about this. Moving away from the mic for just a moment. And certainly want to let you know that whether you're in this area or any other areas right now of the Carolinas, what we're watching for today is a marginal risk for severe storms, essentially from Charlotte to the east, along the coast, north of Charleston, out towards the Outer Banks, and everywhere in between there. It's on your screen right now, painted in that darker green with MRGL, abbreviation for marginal. That is the tier 1 out of 5 that the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma has given us for today, for the possibility of seeing some severe weather inside this line of showers and storms that we're watching, about a 2% chance of a tornado in that same general area. And again, this is the third tornado warning that we've had inside this hour alone. And I think we were watching some activity during the overnight hours as well, too. And certainly, if you were watching the Xfinity race yesterday running in Concord at Charlotte Motor Speedway, you know that even outside of severe thunderstorms or tornado warnings, we had just a ton of rain. And so certainly this line is dumping more rain on top of all of that. We're still seeing right now in Horry County some lightning, which gives us an idea. The storm is still particularly active. We are watching here as the winds moving away and towards the radar kind of come closer together. That's where the green and the red meet, prompting the National Weather Service to issue this particular tornado warning, which goes for another 9 minutes or so here as we're continuing to track that. We'll check, see if anyone has any questions, comments, concerns. Whether you're in this area or you know someone in this area, you can give them a call, let them know what it is that we are watching. If you're trying to watch right now on local TV, certainly we'll let you know, of course, your local meteorologist at your local broadcast stations anywhere in the Carolinas can give you street-level community information about what these tornadoes are doing, as we're kind of giving you the broad strokes of where the warnings are. And if you're watching sports and you're not living in one of these counties and they happen to interrupt, and I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir right now, give it time, folks. If there's a severe thunderstorm, severe weather, tornado warning that local meteorologists need to cut in for because it's life-threatening, they're going to have to do that blanketed across their entire area, whether it applies to your house or not, because that's certainly a life-threatening situation, despite NASCAR or football or whatever it is that may be going on. So do certainly keep that in mind and, be patient as we're continuing to watch that potential for severe weather moving across the Carolinas today. If you're just joining us, I'm James Brierton in Charlotte. You're watching streaming severe weather coverage from the Carolina Weather Group. It's Sunday, October the 11th, 2020. It's 3:51 right now. We have one active tornado warning for north central Horry County. It goes for another 8 minutes. This is for a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Green Sea, 12 miles southeast of Mullins, moving northeast at 10 miles an hour. We don't have a confirmed tornado here, but the National Weather Service in Wilmington, which has jurisdiction of this area, has gone ahead and issued a warning as they're continuing to keep an eye on this and other thunderstorms embedded along a line right now. This is the third tornado warning we've had this hour alone, as what is another day of very wet weather across a lot of the Carolinas. We're watching right now rain all along I-85 between Greensboro and Raleigh to the south down to the coast, moving to the east. We had this roll through where I am in Charlotte a little bit earlier, heavy at times. Right now, a little bit clearer along the I-77 corridor in the Carolinas, including in Concord, where Charlotte Motor Speedway is hosting NASCAR this weekend. If you're joining us from upstate South Carolina, we do still have some heavier rains moving on through. Nothing severe right now. We only have that one tornado warning. But we'll watch a few of these guys just to see if anyone gets enough spin to it to warrant any sort of warning right now. But just that one tornado warning, the third this hour, active right now in Horry County, South Carolina. We had one in Dillon that was allowed to expire. I'm watching a little rotation, pretty broad, pretty weak right now in Fairmount on the North Carolina side of things. That one has not had any history of being warned. And we started off this hour with a warning in the Anson County, Richmond area. Anson County and Richmond County area of North Carolina, as again this line moving on through. Associated with this line today from the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, is a 2% chance of seeing a tornado. Certainly not the highest you've ever seen us cover here in the Carolina Weather Group, but anything is certainly something to keep in mind. And the Storm Prediction Center, in terms of their tiers and categorizations, has given us a marginal risk, MRGL, there on your screen in the darker green, stretching from Charlotte all along the North Carolina and South Carolina coast, from the Outer Banks south down through Myrtle Beach, and probably just a little shy of Charleston on this particular map, probably within the margin of error. And that's a tier 1 out of 5. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing play out here. We have seen scattered warnings through the early morning hours and now the afternoon hours. And we're watching here to see what the National Weather Service decides to do in the next 5 minutes or so with this cell. It looks like maybe it was just canceled, guys. Let's take a look here. Logging in on my other monitor to National Weather Service chat. We can get an idea from the Weather Service exactly what it is that they've been watching. So they've allowed the tornado warning for Horry County to expire. The tornado warning for Horry County has expired. That red polygon will disappear off our map in a moment, but they're telling us they just saw a video online of what appears to be tornado damage along Interstate 95 at exit 184 between Latta and Dillon. So that is the tornado warning that we had in this area at about 3:15, 3:45 or so. And the National Weather Service will be going out likely tomorrow to survey that damage. They will go out to try to confirm if, in fact, what they're looking at is tornado damage or not. That video they're referencing, we're going to go ahead and pop that up on your screen right now. Again, at this particular moment in time, 3:55, no active tornado warnings. You can see the graphics updating there on your screen. But what we were watching from earlier this hour, and Ed Piotrowski, meteorologist in Myrtle Beach area, tweeting out some video the National Weather Service is relaying now of possible tornado damage in Dillon County from earlier this hour. Let's see what Ed's got for us here. You can see it on your screen right now. And he was sent this video again. This is possible tornado damage. It looks like we're seeing snapped trees crossing I-95. Excuse me, yeah, Interstate 95, exit 184 between Latta and Dillon, knocking down trees and causing some damage. Traffic is stopped or slowed there. Certainly you can see those snapped trees. And the National Weather Service will be going out tomorrow to do a storm survey. Won't be a confirmed tornado until they either get their eyes on the damage themselves, or if they had a verified storm report of an actual tornado, which is not the case right now, right? So we have no tornado warnings right now, but you can see the slowdown there on traffic. This video from Ron Barfield, and you can see what again could have been a tornado earlier this hour in Dillon County, South Carolina, where the damage from that is what we're looking at here in this tweet from Ed Piotrowski, friend of the show and broadcast meteorologist in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And looking at those snap trees, it reminds me a little bit of what I saw when we had a tornado. I guess that was earlier this year here in Charlotte, in South Charlotte. This year obviously has been a wild ride, and time is very weird. But yeah, I think that was this year. And so sometimes, yeah, you'll see that. And the difference between straight line winds and tornado damage would be if the trees all fell in the same direction. That would be straight line winds, certainly still damaging, not a tornado. And then a tornado tends to leave damage in a rotation with trees falling in multiple directions, because certainly we're watching that circulation on the screen. So coming up now at 4 o'clock, James Brierton, Charlotte. No active tornado warnings right now. Circled on your screen is where we were looking at that damage from earlier this hour. And if we just play the radar back, you'll see that there was an area of circulation, that rotation that I was just talking about, between Latta and Dillon. You can see it right about in here. The red and the green come on together. And that's where winds are moving away and towards the radar in very close proximity to each other. And so I think 95 would be right about in here. So if when this loops back again, we just kind of pause it. Roll it back. I'm going backwards now in time. It's probably right about on in here, about 323, give or take. And you can see we have an area of red and an area of green very close together. So some strong rotation there. We quarried this earlier, the radar signature here about 5,000 feet above the ground from this radar near Wilmington. And so I think you can see the interstate would be right about on in here. So I'm going to guess that Twitter video we were just looking at, right where that red and that green come together. And again, this is just a few miles outside of Lada, about 4 miles outside of Lada, and was still on about a 7-mile approach to Dillon before that tornado warning was ultimately expired. National Weather Service will be going out tomorrow to keep an eye on that. Let's see here. I see our ticker still going at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if we have anything new or if that is just still waiting to expire and drop off the screen. Because I believe now as we roll up on the 4 o'clock hour, we don't have any active tornado warnings to tell you about. Certainly good news. Yeah, that tornado warning was allowed to expire at 3:53, so we'll have to get that ticker updated there momentarily. But again, we're going to keep an eye on still a few areas of circulation. They're kind of weak and broad right now. So no active tornado warnings, but you can kind of still see a little something outside of Dillon, the remnants of what was earlier possible tornado with possible damage. And you can see we were watching, I think it's this now that's kind of fallen apart a little bit in Horry County. But we'll watch not only here along South Carolina, but also up towards even into North Carolina. Mentioned this a couple times during the coverage so far. Little rotation outside of Fairmount. Nothing warranting a warning right now for the National Weather Service, and we'll switch on over to Raleigh. Or we won't switch on over to Raleigh. Wanted to show you, so unlike the radar that's on your phone, that is a mosaic that stitches all of these images together, it's actually faster for us to take the individual radar sites and get the images in real time before they're quote-unquote stitched together. And that then comes with a little bit of a reach. So we toggle between different radar sites. I think we have radar back now. And so let's see if I can switch over to radar in Raleigh. There we go. Didn't crash that time, which is good. So again, some showers moving into Rocky Mount, some heavier rains to the south of Raleigh, down towards Fayetteville. We'll watch as we put this back into 2-panel here. We'll get that velocity over on the right. This is where you can spot that rotation. We'll watch some of those areas coming on through here in the next little bit. But again, we've had this line moving on through today. We had lots of rain yesterday. Still some rain right now. Almost like a couple little waves of rain right now coming through upstate South Carolina. This is moving to the east. Hopefully they can get this NASCAR race done and over with before any of this rolls on back through to the Charlotte metro area. Let me lean over here for a second. What I want to show you real fast before we sign off. I just got to find it. I want to show you storm reports that we got in earlier today. If I can figure out where I've bookmarked that. If this is the first time you've checked out the Carolina Weather Group, I'm James Riordan in Charlotte. We are a weekly web show discussing science, weather, and technology and more across the Carolinas. New interviews come out every Wednesday. Okay, here we go. It's coming up on your screen here in a moment. We'll switch over from live radar to show you storm reports we've received throughout the day thus far. And you can see a couple of reports of thunderstorm wind damage. This is in Lawrence, South Carolina, earlier on this Sunday. Trees blown down. A couple reports of that. This one in Clinton, South Carolina. Trees blown down here as well. This is Springdale Drive. A little bit closer to the border of Georgia. Still in South Carolina and Waterloo. More trees blown down there, and trees blown down as well. Another report in Waterloo. So that's today's look at storm reports. We certainly showed you a few minutes earlier in our live coverage what is the potential tornado damage in Dillon County, South Carolina. The Weather Service will go out and try to survey that and get us an idea of what they saw there. Yesterday, when we saw longer periods of heavy rain throughout the area, the other thing that we were watching, especially throughout the evening hours, just for our friends across the border in the mountains of Georgia, were some flash flooding reports. And certainly I wouldn't be surprised, a few mudslides here in the Clayton area of upstate northeast Georgia. I wouldn't be surprised if you two woke up to some very saturated lawns and communities, and we're watching again a few areas of rain move on through. All right, we're going to leave it here for now. I'm James Brierton in Charlotte. It's 4:04. We'll be back as the weather warrants throughout the afternoon, but that does it for this coverage, severe weather coverage for the Carolina Weather Group for now. Stay weather aware, and we will see you back here as the severe weather warrants. Have a good day. I'm James Brierton in Charlotte, North Carolina. It is 4:35 on Sunday, October 11th, 2020. We are following another tornado warning in the Carolinas, this one once again for Horry County. This is coming out of the Conway area. We tweeted about this a few minutes ago as we were monitoring an area of circulation right now just outside of Conway and Red Hill. You can see it on the right side of our radar that is showing velocity. And that's, of course, winds. And you can see right here where that bright area of green and red come together. That's where winds are rotating away and towards the radar in close proximity to each other. So this is going to be moving here to the north and to the east. Let's get an exact timing on this by pulling up the bulletin from the National Weather Service, if my computer will cooperate. Doesn't currently seem to be wanting to do that, but what we've seen in this proximity in this area with the tornado warnings we've seen thus far this afternoon, it's been between 10 and 20 miles an hour or so as this line of rain from Raleigh down towards the shore continues to move to the north and east. So if you're in this area, what you're going to want to do is move to a sturdy structure. You want to be on the inside of that sturdy structure. Here's the radar on your screen now. As interior as possible, to as many walls and windows between you and the outside world as possible. So again, what we're looking at right up outside of Conway and Red Hill, moving to the north and east here, is an area of circulation. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado has prompted the National Weather Service in Wilmington to issue this tornado warning for central Horry County. This goes until 5:15, so another 40 minutes or so. We're going to be continuing to track this area just outside of Myrtle Beach. This is to the north of Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is not in the warning, but just to give you an idea of where we are right now in the Carolinas, we'll go ahead and pull this radar back out here. You can see a little bit better where we are tracking this latest tornado warning in the Carolinas here on this October the 11th, 2020. I'm James Brierton in Charlotte as we are welcoming in now viewers from across the network of Carolina Weather Group pages. You're watching severe weather coverage once again from the Carolina Weather Group. I'm James Brierton. The National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for central Horry County outside of Conway and Red Hill. This goes until 5 o'clock, 5:15. This goes until 5:15. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Horry, Georgetown Technical College, the Conway campus. It is moving northeast at 15 miles an hour. It will be in Hickory Grove in 3 minutes at 4:40. Nixonville at 4:50, Hand at 5:05, and Hammond at 5:10. If you are anywhere inside that polygon, that red polygon that you see on your screen there, outside of the Myrtle Beach and the North Myrtle Beach area, but not all that far inland from the coast, about 6 miles on the closest side of this polygon to about 17 to maybe 20-ish miles on the inside. Moving to the northeast away from Conway, we have a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado that will be moving here to the northeast in the next few minutes. If we go ahead and put this into motion, you can get an idea of how this came together in the last few minutes. And it was about 10 minutes or so that we tweeted as we were watching. Right up on in here, this is going to move just south of Conway. And you can see here where the National Weather Service, right about there, goes ahead and issues the tornado warning as it slides between Conway and Red Hill. And the last few radar signatures, including our live most radar signature right now, fairly tight area of rotation. Winds inside of this right now, but 55 miles an hour according to radar. They're in coming out of Wilmington, so not all that far away. And that's kind of what we're looking for here when we're trying to detect with radar whether or not there's a tornado on the ground. This is the only tornado warning in the Carolinas right now. We had a likely tornado earlier this afternoon in Dillon County, South Carolina, where tornado damage has been observed. National Weather Service will go out tomorrow to get eyes on that and confirm for us if, in fact, that was a tornado. Right now, we won't know until tomorrow. I'm checking, looking off to the side here, trying to check our network of cameras to see if there's anything in the proximity here that would get us close to seeing exactly what might be going on right now. We do have some cameras in Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, again, not affected by this. They are outside of this tornado warning. It's not even really raining right now in Myrtle Beach, so I'm not too anxious to necessarily switch over to any of those cameras. I don't think our Conway camera is active. But we'll keep an eye on that. So this tornado warning goes for another 40 minutes or so. And certainly been watching a lot of stormy weather, cloudy weather across the Carolinas. Moving through the region today. Again, a line right now of heavy rain moving in all along a line. Came through where I am in Charlotte earlier today, but right now we got all this rain from Raleigh, moving to the east, down to the coast, a couple areas spinning up. We're watching some lightning now associated with this tornado-warned cell in Horry County, South Carolina. Goes another half an hour, 40 minutes or so. I'm going to go ahead. Literally, we wanted to get on with you as soon as possible, so I'm logging back in now to National Weather Service chat that we use to watch the latest information come in from the National Weather Service. They sometimes give us a little insight as to what it is that they're looking at and thinking. And we always certainly appreciate that insight that they are able to provide and all the service that they provide to all of us. If you are inside this tornado area right now, this polygon, or if you know somebody who is, give them a call, let them know to move to the lowest level interior structure of their sturdy structure. Here's a look at a video we received in a little bit earlier of that possible tornado-produced damage in Dillon County between Lotta and Dillon, I-95, exit 184, about an hour or so ago on this Sunday. An earlier tornado warning came on through there. National Weather Service will go out tomorrow to do the official storm survey, but you can see some trees snapped there in association with one of the several tornado warnings we've had throughout the Carolinas today. We have just the one right now in Horry County, and that is what we are continuing to follow. Michelle watching on Facebook saying that she was able to text her son there at CCU 4 minutes before the university alert came out. Michelle thanking us for the coverage, and Michelle, thank you for being proactive and thinking to notify him as we continue to track this tornado warning for that area of Horry County. I know those schools do the best they can, and there's just an inherent delay from when the National Weather Service pulls the trigger to issue a warning, and then it has to flow through a series of systems to ultimately get to your phone, whether it's being relayed to your phone from the emergency alert system, or if it's being relayed to your phone from an app or from a university system. Those things are not always instantaneous, so Michelle, good thinking to give him an extra 4 minutes heads up. Happy to be able to be a part of that with you today. We don't have any confirmation of a tornado on the ground at this point, but enough rotation in the upper atmosphere detected on radar that the National Weather Service decided to go ahead and issue that tornado warning, and it should be treated as a tornado until all clear is determined otherwise. As we've seen with the setup today, it is possible that we could get a tornado or a little wind damage. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma right now has this area of the Carolinas, North Carolina, South Carolina, from the coast, from the Outer Banks through Myrtle Beach, down to just north of Charleston and as far inland as Charlotte in a marginal risk. That's on your screen right now in dark green, MRGL. That's a tier 1 out of 5 in terms of their severe parameters and categories that they put out on a daily basis. And about a 2% chance of seeing a tornado, and we've certainly had enough tornado warnings today to feel like that was verified or justified. We're not anticipating a widespread watch to come out at this point because it's still just a little bit too scattered. But we'll watch. If I switch you up to the Raleigh radar, you can see that line kind of stretching now from Raleigh down through the Fayetteville area and ultimately down to the coast. A little bit more scattered and less cohesive than it was tomorrow, or earlier and yesterday. That actually could give it a little bit room to spin as opposed to being crowded up against other storms. And if you're watching us right now further back in upstate South Carolina or in the I-77 corridor where I am, we're still continuing to watch some activity, still trying to get going again in upstate South Carolina. If you're a NASCAR fan, Concord, Charlotte Motor Speedway, cloudy, clear, still remnant water on the racetrack there, but hopefully they can get that all done. I know they're in the final stage right now before this comes rolling on back through. Yesterday, of course, certainly a very, very interesting day with lots of heavy rain coming on through there. 4:45 now, James Brierton, Charlotte, North Carolina. We're watching a tornado warning. Only one tornado warning right now in the Carolinas. This is for Horry County. It goes until 5:15. And this is for a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. No tornado confirmed at this time, but we're going to treat it as one until we're told otherwise. The update here from the National Weather Service office in Wilmington, which has jurisdiction over this area, telling us that the area of rotation last observed near Hickory Grove or near Conway, moving northeast at 20 miles an hour. They don't have any indication of anything on the ground, but they are looking at the same radar signatures we are. And it'll be near Hammond by 5:05. The good news is Conway and Red Hill are not in this warning at this point. This warning is extending outwards from there as the area of circulation right up on in here continues to move north and east. Matter of fact, if you've been with us for a few minutes here, I think this is the area of circulation we were watching. I'm going to watch to see if anything becomes of that in the next few minutes. But on the left-hand side of your screen with the reflectivity, that shows us the rain. See a little bit of a notch right on there the left-hand side of your screen. That's a little bit of what we watch for, too, in addition to the red and the green of the winds on the right-hand side of your screen. But if I put this into motion for the last few minutes, you can kind of see how this came together in the last half an hour or so. Okay, we have a new tornado warning right now. New tornado warning right now in upstate South Carolina. And it's going to be popping up right in here in Chester and York. And some of you know that my day job, in addition to moonlighting here at the Carolina Weather Group, is with WCNC, the NBC affiliate in Charlotte, North Carolina. So what I'm going to have to do here for a moment, folks, is put the mic on mute and make some calls. And we're going to leave the radar up on the screen here for you in the Carolina Weather Group because we're continuing to watch now 2 tornado warnings. Horry County until 5:15. Chester and York counties in upstate South Carolina until 5:15. You're watching the Carolina Weather Group. I'm James Brierton. Tune to local broadcast for continuing updates on these tornado warnings, including street-level updates. We'll see you on WCNC or wherever you may be from the Carolinas.